This is Coop from GarageGymReviews.com, and this is my garage gym. Here. Without a doubt, the most requested video is, Coop, can you show us your garage gym? I've done one in the past with a 2-car garage. I now have my own home with 3 cars and a lot more crap. And I want to show you exactly what I've purchased, what things I wouldn't buy, and just all the information that you need to know. So let's get into it. As you can see, we've got a whole lot of barbells. Everything from your general training bar like your Rogue Ohio bar to your Kabuki strength power bar, your Rogue Ohio power bar, stainless steel, your general training bars, your weightlifting bars like Alikos and Klokov bars. They've all got a purpose. That being said, I don't use every single barbell every time I train. In fact, I kind of stick to some of the basic bars. The ones that I personally use the most are the Aliko bar, the Kabuki strength power bar. So one of these, Cerakote bars because I like the way they look. And then I use a lot of specialty bars. So things like this T-grip bar from American Barbell or these bamboo bars, they add a lot of versatility. But one of the most difficult parts is getting a barbell from the top. Now you may notice this isn't your standard barbell rack. These are actually 2 barbell racks on top of each other. The most difficult part is actually taking a bar from the top, and that's why I put the women's bar at the top. Okay. Now, although I have a lot of straight Olympic bars, I also have a lot of specialty bars, and these are, I use these almost as much as I do my, regular power bars or Olympic bars. I've got everything from safety squat bar to trap bar, farmer's handles. Now, I kind of let you know like which ones are my favorite because some of these I really don't use all that much, but the safety squat bar, I love the safety squat bar. This is the Transformer Kabuki strength safety squat bar, or the Elite FDS SS yoke. This is the one that I probably say for most people because it is a little bit cheaper than this one, but they're both great bars. You also have your standard farmer's handles. These are from Titan Fitness. Rogue Fitness also makes the same pair, but Titan Fitnesses are a lot more cheap or a lot less expensive. These are basically leftover barbells. So barbells that wouldn't fit on there and barbells that I don't use a lot. The Rep Fitness Gladiator bar, the Titan Fitness Atlas bar, which by the way, is one of the worst bars I've used. The knurling's awful, so although it's cheap, probably not one I would suggest. You also have a Fringe Sport bar, Rogue Ohio bar. That's the first barbell that I ever got, and that's what really started the garage gym years ago in like I was in a 1-stall garage. Vulcan bar, and then the Cap Boss bar, and also this curl bar that has bearings actually in the sleeves, which is pretty cool. Start off with the Rogue Echo bike. This one is their newest bike. I did a review on this in the past comparing it to the Assault bike. If you're gonna buy like one of these type of bikes, an air bike, this is probably the one that I would suggest, okay? This one is the best overall price, and it's also the best performer, close to the Schwinn 80 Pro. The Schwinn 80 Pro is a great bike, but it's hard to compete with this monster Rogue Echo bike. It's not only super heavy and sturdy, but it's just great performer. It's not as loud, and it's a good bike. Then right here we have the standard Concept 2 rower. Anybody who's ever used a Concept 2 product knows how good they are. They last forever. They perform well. They're like the definition of that Einstein quote that says, make things only as simple as possible and no simpler. And that's a Concept 2 product. They're made to last, and they're made to get the job done. And that's why they use them in the CrossFit Games and everywhere else. So in addition to that, I've got things like pound pads, which are great for like silencing deadlifts or Olympic lifts. If you're in like a duplex or something like that, you don't want to make a lot of noise or you're a parent, these things are awesome. They deaden the blow really well. They just work well. Kind of expensive though. In my opinion, this is the best piece of conditioning equipment you can have. I know people like rowers, sleds, air bikes, but if I was only going to choose one, in my opinion, it would definitely be the Concept 2 skier. The reverse hyper, I use this about every lower body training session, anytime I squat, deadlift, anytime I put compression on my spine. I usually like to get on this to open it up and to, you know, pump some blood in there. GHD, we use it for everything from GHRs to GHD sit-ups and, you know, back extensions, whatever you can think of. I love these two pieces. They take up a lot of space. They're really expensive, but I had the space for them and I found them on Craigslist, so I went ahead and got them. This right here is an Expo Sled. Basically what they do is they take a standard, like, you know, tripod style sled like a Prowler, and they add wheels to it. And you may be thinking, wheels, it can't be that hard, but then they add a direct drive motor. It's actually a reverse motor. So the harder you push, the harder it pushes against you. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's also very difficult. These are just a couple plyo boxes. This one is by 8th Day Performance. It goes up and down at different, you know, whatever height you'd like. And then this is a Rogue squat box, super overbuilt. It's really big. The only reason I really bought it was because it came with these. I would have preferred a smaller one like Elite FTS has, but for getting on Craigslist, you know, it's an outstanding box. It's just pretty big. This right here is an eccentric K box. This is something that you probably haven't seen a lot of unless you've seen my previous reviews. It's actually what's called flywheel-based training. So the idea is that the harder you pull against it, the harder it wants to pull you down. So rather than just working the concentric of exercises like most things do, this works the eccentric. It's great for, you know, all sorts of training. It's probably one of the most versatile pieces of equipment in my gym. In fact, I think if somebody just wanted one piece of equipment for strength training, I really think you could get by with that. Okay, it is expensive, but there's so much you can do on it. Everything from curls to presses to squats, anything you can think of, you can use with that. Back behind is the Concept 2 bike erg. I prefer the Concept 2 bike erg to some of the air bikes. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite pieces of conditioning equipment. That said, I don't know if they're going to use this in the CrossFit Games, so you guys that are in CrossFit, I don't know if I'd recommend getting this one over an air bike because they may end up using those in the open and things like that, and you want to be prepared for those things. So next is the Trueform Runner. This is a motorless treadmill, meaning that there's no drive motor, electric motor. It's all self-propelled, so as soon as you get on the belt, it pulls you in. I almost died there. But there's a belt here that basically runs all the way around. It's on bearings, and then you can, you know, track your pace, speed, distance, time, everything like that. Does a garage gym need a Trueform Runner, something this big? Of course not. It's not something that you need, but it's fun to use for different intervals or to do it, you know, if you're basically supersetting with something else in different Metcons. So I like it a lot. I use it actually quite a bit because I actually found I actually like running on it. I prefer running on this to actually outside. It does kill your hamstrings if you don't know how to run, but it's a pretty cool unit and it's made to last forever, which is nice. So this is kind of the centerpiece of the gym. It doesn't matter, you know, what style you train. Most people are going to train most of the time in the squat rack. You can do everything that you could ever think of within the squat rack. I chose the Rogue R3. It's a basic squat rack. It's not the most expensive, but I like it because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It, you know, compact, lets me, you know, use lots of accessories, everything from monolift attachments, spinning pull-up bar, multi-grip bar, globe pull-ups, you know, Matador handles, anything you can think of. Rogue basically sells for it, and I think it's, you know, the most economically priced from them. So this is actually a Rogue Westside bench. It's built the exact same as the Rogue R3. I don't think you necessarily need a bench this big and stout. Even if you're benching 1,000 pounds, you could still do it off the R3. But I actually ended up trading a barbell for this, and I got it obviously for super cheap. So I'm a big fan of it, and I also like the Thompson Fat Pad. Donnie Thompson designed this. It's got a vinyl cover. It's really grippy. It's super comfortable to use. After using this, I probably wouldn't want to use a regular bench. It just doesn't compare. So I'm a big fan of the Fat Pad and also a big fan of the bench. Without a doubt, the question I get more than any other is, Coop, how do you enter a bench press? Let me tell you. The first one is what I like to call the front door. Although I'm a huge fan of the front door, I like the back door just as much. But my personal favorite, the pile driver. So what I'm standing on is a Rogue deadlift platform. I don't think it's necessarily required, but if you're gonna do any, accommodating resistance on deadlifts, things like that, I like the platform. That said, Titan just came out with one that's gonna be much cheaper. It's only 200 bucks compared to this one, which I think is like 400, 500 with shipping. So if you do a lot of deadlifts and things like that, these are a lot of fun to use. Behind here is a Prx Rack. This is actually, I saw this on Shark Tank and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Basically, rather than having a standalone squat rack, you pull the pins out, and then you can actually bring the squat rack down. So right there, it's able to hold up to 1,000 pounds, whatever the J-cups can hold. You can do pull-ups, even if you can do kipping pull-ups on this or toes to bar, things like that. It stays out of the way, and then when you're done, you just fold it up. Back behind is actually a fold-away bench, so in the same way that that folds down, you can fold this down. So if you want to bench with the rack, you just fold this out, and you're good to go. So I just recently got this dumbbell rack in. This one's from Titan Fitness. It's the Titan Fitness Mass Storage Rack, and then I've got Titan Fitness dumbbells all the way from 5 pounds up to 100 pounds, and then I've got York round heads on the bottom from 110 to 150. I wasn't sure how this would look or play together with the dumbbells when I got it, but for the price, this thing's solid. I think when it comes to like storage options and everything like that, if you can go cheap, as long as it looks good and holds everything, I think that's great. And so that's why I like these. These dumbbells are just a standard hex head rubber dumbbell. Pretty much every company sells the exact same one from the same factories. They just put different names on them. So my suggestion is if you want dumbbells like these, just go after the cheapest ones that you can find because they're pretty much all gonna be the same. This is the almighty storage rack. What I did was I took a Titan T3, I removed the pull-up bar and everything like that, and I just took the uprights and then added some double pull-up bars and basically made a Frankenstein rack. This thing is made to hold anything you can put on it. I don't know how much pounds of plates I have on here, but it's quite a bit. But I just got standard crumb bumpers and then your competition bumpers. These are Penlays. These are Klokov bumpers. They've kind of got the rounded profile. Pretty cool looking plate. Rogue training bumpers, Titan training bumpers, American Barbell urethane plates. That's actually from a dumbbell bumper plate from Rogue, and then 1,000 pounds in Rogue calibrated powerlifting plates. I will never lift that much or need that much, but they're there. I just kind of throw as much as I can on this to get things out of the way, to keep the plates all in one place. And I've had no problems. The only problem I worry is if it starts to crack the concrete, but I don't think that's gonna happen. One of the biggest tips I've found is making sure that when you're getting weights, you make sure you share the weight with a partner. Taking all the weight to the rack by yourself, it's impossible. You gotta do it together. So that concludes the walkthrough. I know I've gone through as much as I could, but there's some stuff that I probably missed. So if you go on the link in the bio below, I actually have a full write-up of my garage gym, all the equipment I use and everything like that. You can check it out. Thanks for watching. This has been Coop from GarageGymReviews.com, and we'll see you next time. Peace.